Hello, everyone, and welcome to these governorship debates coming to you live from Channels Television Studio in Benin City, Edo State. Tonight, we shall be engaging 5 candidates running for the highest office in Edo State. They will be telling us why they deserve to be elected and what they will be doing for the people of Edo State in the Southside region of the country as voters gear up for the September 19th governorship election. This is Channels Television's initiative in educating the public and inspiring conversations on good governance and national development. Welcome, everyone. I'm Seun Okinbaloye, your moderator tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Don't forget that you can be part of the conversation tonight and tell us your views on what the candidates are talking about, the needs of the people of Edo State ahead of the election on the social media platforms that you will see right on your screen there using the hashtag Edo Governorship Debate. We shall begin in earnest. Let me start by introducing the candidates who have already taken their position right beside me behind their podiums for these 1.5 hours of debate in alphabetical order of their party acronyms. First is Iboyi Emmanuel of the ADP. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Igbenweka Osamwede of the APM and Tracy Agol of the ANPP, Jones Osahiorere of the ADP, and Bishop Akalamet of the ZLP. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you. I would like to tell you that Edo people are waiting and hoping that they will be able to elect someone that will do what will meet their aspirations at the poll. So they will start by telling us why they are the best person for the job and what is perhaps the biggest challenge for Edo State today. And this opening segment is 2 minutes. I will begin with you, the candidate of the ADP, Mr. Iboyi Emmanuel.
Thank you so much. My name is Iboyi Emmanuel, and I'm out for this race to make sure that Edo State is back again to its feet. To bring development to Edo State with our transformation agenda manifesto, of which we all know that right now the unemployment level in Edo State is 29.1%, and that is not good at all for a state. A state where 50% half of the population are jobless, a state where there is no industry, a state where the government cannot provide job for its citizens, and this is the reason why we have come out to eradicate this menace in Edo State. And come September 19, if the electorate can vote the ADP, when the electorate votes the ADP, development will come back to Edo State. And this is what we want to do. First of all, let me go a little bit. I was born in Obia Southwest. I am from Eastern Central. Irua is my local government. Then Bukare is my hometown. I came out because of what has been happening in Edo State, and to bring the transformation agenda to eradicate erosion from Edo State. There are a lot to talk on. When the electorate in Edo State decide to vote for the ADP come September 19, there will be change in the education sector. We are going to revamp the education sector. We are going to make sure, let me tell you that today, the Red Roof Revolution, or the Red Roof Revolution taken by the past administration, is now decaying. What is the importance of building structures without intellectual structures? I can tell you that some schools, the government schools don't have labs. I can tell you that children nowadays, you go to those public schools, you will see bushes and grasses everywhere. We have also come to eradicate erosion because we all know governance is continuity. I will tell you that today that we have over 14,000 teachers.
The time is up.
Thank you.
Let me come to you, the candidate of the APM. Is it?
Yes.
Thank you. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay.
Why are you the best man for the job, and what you consider the biggest challenge facing Edo people today?
All right. My name is Igbenweka Osamwede. I'm the gubernatorial candidate of APM, and I choose to take this motto to Sadebe House to change the leadership of Edo State, because we are tired of this recycling of leadership in Edo State. And again, we are going to invest in the aviation sector, agricultural sector, and also health sector, infrastructure and social amenities how are we going to do this? We need funds. And based on the little I know about finance, we can be able to raise funds to do this. We can go into trade platforms in London, and I have my international connections to be able to do this. We can raise funds, and when we have enough funds, the present government, they'll be borrowing money, and they are not making provision on how to pay back this old loan. And we keep building roads with loans that we borrowed. But if I come in to that Osadebe house, I can be able to generate funds and attend to all the decay projects that Edo State has. Edo State has Okpila Smith. Edo State has Bede Brewery. We have Edo Line. We have Warake Farm. We have Granite Farm. We have palm farm, rubber plantations. All these are going decay. And if I come in, I will be able to turn this around and engage the youth. Engaging the youth. The society today, there is insecurity in Edo State. The insecurity in Edo State today, how are we going to tackle it? I don't need to pay police or pay vigilante to handle this situation. All we need to do is to create jobs. We used to have technical school all over. There was a technical school in Edo State some time ago. That's where we have, at the time you look at Edo State, we were the best to produce furniture. But today it has all gone decay. But with this, we can build technical school in 3 geopolitical zones. And we can also attend to this cultural heritage that we have in Edo State. We have a cultural heritage in Edo State. We can partner with Nollywood. We can partner with
Your time is up.
Oh, shit.
The candidate of the NNPP, your time starts now. Your 2 minutes.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My names are Ambassador Agol Ebun Tracy. I'm the candidate for the New Nigerian People's Party. We are here to change the narrative. Edo people have been plunged into poverty. Edo people are in captivity. And I believe, as the leader of NNPP in Edo State, we are going to release people from all manner of captivity that they have been plunged in. We are going to be looking at the educational sector. Knowledge, they say, is power. We are going to be having free education from primary to secondary school levels. We are going to be having bursary for all of our students, irrespective of the institution where they are studying. And having said that, we are going to catch our children young, from the primary school to the secondary school. If you check around, all of our schools in Nigeria, in Edo State, is in complete shambles. There are a lot of anomalies going on in all of our schools. So the New Nigerian People's Governance will take over the educational sector, make sure that we introduce a talent hunt for education. We are also going to introduce into our educational sector a talent hunt academy, where we will begin to fish out all of our talented youths, all of our talented children who will pass through this academy. They are going to be taught leadership style. They are going to be taught loyalty. They are going to be taught what it means to become a citizen. Because you find out in our educational sector, when you go, you'll find out that cultism is starting from primary school, even up to secondary school. All of these things we are going to eradicate.
Your 2 minutes is over. And let me turn to the candidate of the YPP, Mr. Ayobare. Your time is now.
Audience, I want to thank you for being here with us this night, for taking your time out to be part of the sacrifice to bring Edo State to what it's supposed to be. I have been an avid student of leadership for a very long time. I started as a ward secretary, National Republican Convention. From then, I moved on to become local government treasurer of the APP. And then from then, I moved on to become the local government secretary. So up till the level that I came to become the state chairman of YPP before I became the gubernatorial candidate. So I've studied development, I've studied governance, I've studied leadership, and I've come to see that there are a lot of vacuum that ought to be filled. Well, we cannot continue to watch our states go retrogressively. So I have decided that I have just 4-point agenda. Number one is education, which is expected to be free, primary and secondary. And then I'm also looking at security, which, as a matter of fact, is difficult for us to be able to comprehend a lot of things that happens in the night and in the day. And then we're also looking at agriculture. Agriculture, we know, is an employment booster. So we are going to see how we are going to ensure that it creates employment opportunities. We're also going to look at technology. The world has gone completely technology. Everything you do, including your home, your office, the world economy, everything is technology. So our government is coming to look at technology very well and have a technology village in Benin, where all these digital instruments will be created in order to create employment for the youths, for the middle age, and for women, as well as many that's interested in it. So we have this 4-point agenda: education, health, security, and technology.
Thank you so much, YPP candidate. And let's on to Bishop Akalame of the ZLP. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much. My name is Bishop Akalame of the Zenith Labour Party. I did not just wake up one day and I said I want to become the governor of the state. What are the propeller? Problems, economic problems, bedeviling the growth and development of the dear state, Edo State. These are the propeller. I look at it. Why is it that Edo State is not growing? Why is it that Edo State is economically backward? Then I went into research. I researched into the problems, these economic problems, bedeviling the prosperity of this state. What did I discover? I discovered that one of the fundamental problems of this state is bad leadership. Then I discovered again that the second one is lack of financial structure for the governor to drive the economy of the state. Then I discovered again that we have high level of what? Unemployment. Our youth are in the streets. Then I discovered again that the state is not moving forward. What did I do? Then I went into my thinking room, assumed the position of the governor for 24 hours. I began to teach my people out of this trouble. When I did, then I now researched and I found a solution to this book I titled The Technical Solution to the Problem of Edo Economy. Then I now begin to ask myself some questions rhetorically. How come we are still here, we have not moved? What I discovered is that a man cannot give what he does not have. Edo people need a governor that is knowledgeable, with a high mental capacity, a governor that can take the people out of problem, a governor that is people driven, a governor that thinks about the people first, empathetic and compassionate, a governor that is proactive and creative. And all these qualities are the composition of the man standing before you, Bishop Akalame. So as I am offering myself to the good people of the state, the problem of bad leadership in the state is solved already. Because I have what it takes to drive the economy of this state and make it the Dubai of Nigeria.
Bishop Akalame, we'll talk more about your plans to make Edo the Dubai of Nigeria, like you planned, as well as the plans of others tonight. But we'll take a break. And when we come back, it will be time to look at the issues of the economy and the plans of these candidates tonight. We'll be right back, everyone. Join us again. Welcome back, everyone, to this governorship debate coming to you live from Channel Television studio in Benin City, ahead of the governorship election on September the 19th, 2020. 5 candidates are up tonight talking about their agenda for Edo people as we anticipate the election day. Let's get back to it now. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady. Let me begin the conversation around the economy, human capital development, and perhaps let's get to look at the issues of unemployment. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics report of 2019 shows that the South-South region, with Edo State part of that region, recorded the highest unemployment rate of 32%. Which represents over 5 million people unemployed in the region of a 16.7 million labor force. What would you do to reverse this trend as a member of the South-South region?
So, thank you so much. And that bothers me a lot. But this South-South Akwa Ibom is the highest with 39%. But I will tell you that Edo State is 25.1%. We have unemployed people. It grew from 19% to 25.1% in Edo State. And we have 50% working class people. Now, these 50% working class people work for the remaining 50% working class people, for the other people. Now, let's divide it. You will discover that more than half of these working class unemployed people are in the economy. In fact, they don't do anything. In fact, this president, I want to ask a question to this present government, that because I wake up and see that the only job they gave was people that were traffic warders. In fact, these traffic warders and those black and red and blue in Ring Road and New Benin, are they civil servants? Are they enshrined into the civil service? So no employment has been going on. These people are suffering. And if there's employment, people will get paid, and the economy will go well, will go fine as planned. Agricultural sector is there. So with this, why is the state government, why is previous government, current government, why are those people not paying, employing people in those states, employing the citizens? Let me give you some statistics. Let me tell you, for example, in 2014, we have over 11,000 teachers. But maybe now it's up to 14,000. Now, we have a good number of schools. 14,000 teachers is not enough to man these schools. Currently, governments are not employing teachers. Currently, they're not employing civil servants. What they do, they wake up and give traffic warders. And these people, they don't have pension.
All right, your 2 minutes is over. But the question is that what would you do should you be elected as governor to reverse this trend? I'll give you 1 minute if you may be able to do that.
Okay, good. What I will do is to correct this mistake. We are going to employ those citizens to revive the economic sector, and we're going to boost the agricultural sector. So that because in the agricultural sector, we're going to employ more teachers and build more schools. When you employ people and you boost the agricultural sector, you discover that you have great employment. That's what we call PPI. The PPI is called private-public investors. I call it private-public investors. So with this, we can build industries all over Edo State.
What kind of industry?
Good. When I go around, you see, for example, Via Southwest, they produce what they call fruits. So we can build fruit industries. They can process these raw materials because they transport these raw materials to Lagos. And these are perishable crops. You get it? So if investors come in and build a fruit industry, an industry that can process this raw material to finished product, we can export it. It will create jobs, it will create revenue, it will generate revenue, and the economy of Edo State will be on a landscape. So thank you.
All right, your 1 minute is over. Let me allow you to answer the same question. How do you hope to reverse that trend where the region that has the highest revenue in terms of federal allocation has the highest number of unemployed people in Nigeria, and South-South, Edo State is a South-South state?
Thank you very much.
2 minutes, please.
2 minutes. Thank you very much. If I become the governor of Edo State, I will look into aviation sector. Looking into the aviation sector is to partner with my international partners. I have international partners all over the world. In terms of agriculture, we can still go into agriculture. We are not going to agriculture like the way we used to do it, just to go and farm to feed 2 or 3 kids. Edo State will partner with the citizen. We will partner with them by creating loan. There's the small, middle-scale businesses that we can create loan. We can go into cooperative to each local government. By the time we create this, and the youth and the people, the women, can also come and access this loan for them to go into this agricultural system. And again, this health sector, the little I know about finance, I keep saying it. You see, finance, if I involve my partners in London or any other country in the world that I have, we can be able to generate funds. If you look, we can insure the state and get a loan and take it to bullet trade and raise funds for this. When we have enough funds, we can, I swear, invest in all this. In fact, there's this Okpila Smith we talk about. If we can revive Okpila Smith, we can employ a whole lot of youth. If we go into this Bende Brewery, I know Bende Brewery right now they are owing, and it has been granted. We can wake it up. There's a license. You understand? So we can do this again. And again, there's this farm, Warake farm, and granite farm in Pechi. We can as well go to these two. We can revive this agricultural system. We're not going to make it just for ourselves alone. We're making it for every Edo citizen to embrace agriculture like a normal business. That everybody right now, the youth are always looking at the white collar job. But if you involve everyone in this sector, I think we can actually make sense out of it. And secondly, normally we used to have this rubber factory, rubber farms.
Your time is over. Your time is over. Mr. Gaul, your time is now. 2 minutes to explain to us how you want to reverse the trend of unemployment in the region.
Yes, NNPP government will indeed revive the economy in Edo State. Edo State is blessed, highly blessed. We have natural resources that are yet to be harnessed, and it has not been harnessed. We are going to be harnessing those natural resources. You will know that we have gold in Edo North. We have a lot of natural resources in and around Edo State. We are going to look at it. We'll have our team look at all of these natural resources and see how we harness it to create employment for the people. The NNPP government will also be looking at agriculture. We are going to be having our agricultural farms in the 3 senatorial districts. We are going to be looking at what we have in the north, what do we have in the south, what do we have in the central. When we look at all of this, we'll see how we are going to develop it. In developing it, we'll be creating employment for the rural people also. Then when you begin to look at the infrastructures in the whole of the state, mostly those infrastructures that they just close down. When each government comes, what do? They begin to bring out their own policies and plan. They do not continue where their predecessors stopped. They bring out more plans and leave out what have been done before. By so doing, you find that the state is in a deplorable, the state is deplorable as it is. So we are going to be looking at all of those infrastructures that have been left like that. We are going to see how we revive it to create what? To create employment. What do we do in Edo State? We only rely on tax. We rely on the revenue that is coming. Why we need to look inward? We don't need to travel anywhere, sir. We need to look inward. Edo State is blessed, richly blessed. Edo State has all the money it takes to take care of education, to take care of agriculture, to take care of the health.
Thank you so much.
It's not that the leadership is unwilling to do the needful.
YPP candidate, your time starts now.
Yes. All right. When YPP is voted into government, for the first 3 months, we shall give job to 1,800 people. How do we do that? Now, from every local government, we will select able-bodied people from each of the local government, 100, to form the security outfit of the state. You understand that we have the security, these local vigilantes. They have not been properly empowered. They have not been properly, brought into the data bank. So in the first 3 months, we will ensure that from each of the local governments, 100 people, 100 youths are harvested from the local government to be trained by the police to be given instant job. How do we pay them? We will pay them from the security votes that is given to government on a monthly basis. And now that's from the security aspect of it. Then on the agricultural aspect of it, when I came to Benin from Abuja in 2018, I came with the African Oil and Gas Agricultural Intervention Services Limited. I still have the office in Benin City here. What I did was to go to each of the local governments, especially the local government where oil and gas are prospected. I come from one. I went to Orion local government and trained about 180 youths, boys, girls, women, in order for us to give birth to a very big, large poultry farm that each of these people will be employed to gainfully work. Now, I met with the chairman of the Orion local government, Honorable Sylvester, who we work together, and he decided to bring out those people, those youths. We trained them together. He even invested money into the training. Those people are right there waiting for employment. We are going to ensure that those people are brought into the employment bank immediately. We assume power.
Thank
we
you so
also
much.
went to...
Your time is up.
Okay.
This LLP candidate, how do you hope to reverse an unemployment rate in the South-South region, Edo State being a member of it?
This is very wonderful. See, that is why the Zenith Labour Party and Bishop Akalame is the solution, because we have the solution. Now, you cannot be a good governor, firstly, if you don't have the database of your people. You don't even know those who are unemployed. The first thing I would do to curb the issue of unemployment in Edo State is to create a database for my people. I want to know my people. Because I'm not going to be a governor for myself. I'm going to be a governor for Edo people. Then who are these Edo people? Are they ghosts? I must know them. I must capture them in data-wise. So when I do that, what am I going to do? Today, the Edo State industries, the Morobot industries, like the Edo Line, that created direct and indirect jobs, is shut down. The better breweries that created direct and indirect jobs in the state is shut down. Then you go to what happened to Ewu Flour Mill. We are going to look at all this, but we are not going to end there. In my government, we are going to, for the very first time, we are going to establish what is called Edo Bakery. We are going to have that in Edo North, Edo Central, Edo South. Why are we doing this? Because the common food you can find in the table of average Edo today, even Nigeria, is bread. But today it's becoming unaffordable. We're going to ensure that we have this. When we do this, we create jobs for youth. We remove them from the streets. Edo South, Edo North. For the first time, we now have what is called Edo bread. Then we will now go into agriculture. If you go to Onwa, you go to Ekpoma, you go to Ekperi, you have a fertile land for rice production. What is happening? It's creativity. Edo people need a governor that is creative, that is sharp, that can think out of the box like Bishop Akalame. So we are going to ensure that in all of this, we are going to go into agriculture, produce rice. We do this in the farm, the youth will work there. In the finance, youth will work there. The distribution, and then in the admin, youth will work there. We're going to have what is called Edo Shoe Factory. We're going to have a lot of this. We're going to have Edo Shopping Mall. When we do this, the youth will be outside. Then finally, there are people who do not like to work for pay. We're going to create what is called graduate retraining centers in all the central districts.
Your time is up,
yes.
but of course, I have the privilege to be able to get a follow-up for you. And it's the fact that have you itemized how you are going to, in terms of empirical numbers, of how you're going to do this? How many jobs are these going to create?
Yeah, of course. Of course. When we do all this, you see, we are going to create direct and indirect jobs. There are people, those days we go to Edo Line, you will see a lot of people celebrate, a lot of people selling food.
In terms of numbers, the people want to know just how many people you'll be able to, in these initiatives.
In this initiative, about 70% of the unemployed Edo people will be out. Then the other one we're talking about is that if you study accounting or banking and finance or any other discipline, then we will not give you the opportunity, we will not train you on the business side of your profession. You are a journalist. There is a business side for journalism. So we're going to have all this graduate training center in the central district. If you don't want to wait for a paid job, they will train you on the business side of your profession. Then we will enhance you, we will motivate you financially. So you can stand on your own and begin to operate in that field. You cannot be an accountant because nobody gives you a job. You begin to sell bread in the market, or sell food, or sell shoe, or clothes. No, you must begin to operate in that line. We are going to give that enablement to all our youth. That is why they need a young man like me, Bishop Akalame, and the Zen Labour Party to drive the economy of this state. So we can't be smiling again in Edo State.
Thank you so much. We will take another break. But when we come back, there is a lot on the minds of Edo people and issues related to security and how young girls are getting out of school. How will these people who want to be governor will reverse that trend and fix some of these challenges? That's going to be next on this debate tonight. Join us again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation with the 5 candidates that we have tonight. But I will try to reverse the order in which we are having this conversation. So I will start from the Zen Labour Party up onto the ADP candidate. And this time around, we're looking at the issues of the economy. We're still staying on economy. And all of you have been talking about what you want to do differently. But this time around, let's look at what is happening presently in Nigeria. World over, there is a major issues of revenue, and a lot of governments are talking about productivity. Coronavirus has, in fact, created a lot of challenge. Edo State stands as one of the top 10 states in Nigeria with the highest debt burden. What measures are you going to create in not relying too much on federal allocation that is dwindling every day to create more money for Edo people?
That is the issue. You see, I have heard people say government has no business with business. And I ask the question, if government has no business with business, then how can the government run the state financially? You see, the problem we're having in the state right now is that the state lack what is called financial structures. There are no financial structure to run the state. So when I'm coming up, what we're going to do is that we are going to ensure that I am not going to become a Fidiboto governor. When I'm going to be a Fidiboto governor, holding a Fidiboto to Abuja to refill. Then when the revenue is not there, I will now report back to my people that there's no money to pay salary, there's no money for infrastructural development. No. I am going to, like I told you, I am going to make sure that I revisit all this moribund industry I've just said to you, then establish more. When we do this, we create jobs. They will create wealth, which is paramount to the state, because we need money to run the state. Now, the crude oil, the price of crude oil has crashed in the international market. That to tell you that after this pandemic, there will be nothing to share again from the federal. Then how do we now raise money to run the state? That is why I'm not coming in. So in this regard, we are going to create more industries in the state that will generate wealth for the state and create jobs for the people so that the economy will be bubbling. So when we are doing this, then everybody will be smiling, everybody will be happy in the state. That's what you're going to do. Because if you continue to rely on federal allocation, the poverty rate we have in the state will continue to increase. That's why we're going to go into agriculture, go into manufacturing, go into general commerce, so that we can get money, we can increase the wealth of the state to drive the economy of the state. We construct roads, good education. If you look at what is happening today now in Edo State, nothing is working because the governor is incapacitated financially because they're not financial structure. The people are already being impoverished. They are big tax on daily basis on a arbitrary taxing system because they don't have any other source of getting money to run the state. I am going to go to operate it that
The time is up. YPP candidate, it's your time now. What are you going to do to creatively generate more money when we have an environment that is making it more and more difficult to get money, especially because of the debt burden?
All right. Like I said before, we intend to build a technology village. This issue of everything we need in this country imported, we need to put a stop to it. Like these instruments you guys are using, we are supposed to be able to produce it here. We intend to build that technology. Like if you go to Abuma, for instance, at the Ring Road there, or at Ted Junction, you will find out that these ordinary handsets, our boys can dismantle them and then they can reassemble them. So if this is true, if we give them an environment, create an environment where we can produce everything that is motorized, that is digital, that is electronics within Benin City here, Benin City will now become a hub, a situation where we can now export out of the country that will generate, revenue into our state. We no longer depend on the federal government to bring in, finance before we can be able to run the economy. That is number one. Number two, like I said before, what we need in the country, in this country or in the state, to be able to not to be dependent on government is agriculture. If you watch very well, agriculture has the capacity to absorb any kind of discipline, any kind of profession. So if you have enough land, like we are talking with Sunderland Farm in America, we're also talking with the Tyson Farm in America, that if we get to government, we'll enter into partnership with them, just like we enter into partnership with China as it concerns a technology village. So when we enter into partnership with the Sunderland Farms, they will come in and ensure that we have very good mechanized farm in the 3 senatorial zones. Now, if you have it in Edo North, you have it in Edo South, you have it in Edo Central, this will mop up a lot of use from the unemployment market and then give them jobs that they will go from time to time where they will also get their salaries. By so doing, if we're able to have enough, harvest, it goes to the market to affect the prices of our products, thereby bringing down
Thank you so
prices.
much. Your time is up. NNP candidate, it's your time now.
Thank you very much. You did say in your you did say that Edo State is having difficulty in the economy, that you have a lot of debt. I'm telling you, sir, Edo State is blessed. Edo State is very, very rich. What we need to do in Edo State is to look inward. Like I said earlier, there are natural resources that are yet unearthed. Why are we not going to look that way? There are, like for instance, you have the coconut industry, the coconut farming, where you have all of the byproducts in coconut. You can annex them for exports. Those are ways to generate funds. We don't need money from outside this country. there is money in this country, there's also money in this state. Have we been told how much we generate in Edo State? Edo State revenue, Edo State tax, for instance. Have you been told how much is generated? No. Nobody knows how much is being generated. And yet we say the state is poor. Yet we need to borrow so much money from outside to begin from outside to alleviate the poverty of Edo people. My government, the government of NNPP, the government of Ambassador Eboluwa Tracy Agor, will not borrow money. We will look inward on how to promote Edo people. This state is rich, I tell you. This state is very rich. So we are going to have all of our team leaders come together to propose solutions for this state. This state is not poor at all. We don't need to borrow money anywhere. We just need to look inward. China looked inward. And what today? They are one of the world powers. Am I right or wrong? So why will Edo State, why will Nigeria not do so? Instead, we begin to borrow money from all over the place, keeping the nation in debt and the state in debt.
Thank you so much. APM, the time starts now.
My brother. When I become the governor of Edo State, to tackle this economy, as I've said before, little I know about finance, because if you look very well, Edo State is owing a whole lot of money right now because the government, they'll be borrowing. You know, the past administration and this same present one, they've borrowed a lot. And what they'll be using it for is just infrastructure. And if we go into, in my own time, I said if I come in with a very good understanding with the House of Assembly members, we can ensure the state and raise funds outside the country. What we are raising, we are only going to go into the trading platforms. When you go into the trade platforms, we'll get the funds, enter the platforms, we'll generate funds from there. And allocation is also coming from federal government. When it comes, we can be able to invest in all the projects that I've been talking about. One, technical schools for each 3 geopolitical zones. You can build this and educate these youth. Secondly, cultural heritage. Edo State have a whole lot of cultural heritage. We have stories to tell. And we can go into this industry. You know, so maybe with your own help too, maybe when the time comes, I can also contact you to be able to put this in place. And secondly, we will invest in the small-scale businesses by granting loan, as I've said before. If we can do this from each local government, you see, internationally, there's a cooperative funds that comes internationally. We can access these funds. It is not, you are not borrowing this money from international community. It's a cooperative funds that will come, that we can be able to invest in our youth, in agriculture. And in this same finance, there's a funds we call humanitarian funds that is going to be coming from outside the way by the time you invest in this, if you involve in this finance. And when the funds come, the finance houses, what they say is, you must invest in humanitarian projects, like building hospital, healthcare. With my government, healthcare sector is going to be a thing of the past. I don't think anybody will leave Edo State to go outside the country for any treatment. Because this funds is going to be coming, and I think...
Thank you so much. ADP, it's your time now.
Thank you so much. See, insincerity of our political leaders has put us in debt in Edo State. Insincerities. Don't be surprised that the blended brewery that is full of bushes now has been sold. Let me tell you the truth. When I'm elected, as the governor comes September 19, there's what we call Edo Farms. Because they are not sincere, they can't go into this. Edo Farms, like I said, through what I call the PPI. The PPI is an acronym of public-private investors. They're going to come with the farms, we can generate revenue from there. Now, let me tell you, the state right now has a shuttle. It's called ECTS. Do you know it is contracted? These, just a few number of them are civil servants. The rest are not civil servants. They can't get pension when they retire. So you can see right from the onset that our politicians, they are not sincere to the people. If you go to the budget, they budget every year. You will discover that they stifle this money without being, they don't spend this money. So we are going to change the narratives. We are going to do things differently. And this is how we are going to do, because we are sincere and we are ready. And that's why the people of Edo State, the electorate needs change. And this change will come. You see, God is the giver of power. And when the power comes, in fact, change will begin to happen in Edo State. And the economy will be revived. With this, now, if we have something like Edo Farms, there's what we call in my manifesto, the transformation agenda, is STEM. STEM is STEM. The STEM stands, the S is for science, the T is for technology, the E is for engineering, the M is for mathematics. Like I said, tell me which society survives without education? Education is the bedrock. Now, that was then, but education and technology is now the bedrock of modern society. And if I tell you today that Edo State is not moving forward and they can't think after the boss because...
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much. Appreciate that. Let's go into the issue of security. We know that security is perhaps one of the biggest job and role of government. I'll begin again with the ZLP candidate. And many of the youth in Edo State have been arrested for belonging to court groups within and outside the higher institutions. Some of these youngsters were arrested after allegedly engaging in criminal activities. Tell us the strategy you will be adopting to tackle this challenge. And of course, the issues of kidnapping is also where some wealthy and unwealthy Edo citizens have been recently kidnapped. How would you solve these problems?
I weep every day. You know why I weep? Because I know how I started. What will you think as a parent? You spend money, you invest in your children in the higher institution. To strike and every other thing, if a course of 4 years, your child now spent 10 years in the university. And when they are now out, as parents, waiting for return on investment, you will not be the one feeding your children again after spending 10 years in the university. Now, these young ones, they have destinies that are tied to their destiny that they need to feed. Because of this, you now see them engaging in crimes, engaging in armed robbery, engaging in kidnapping, engaging in all manner of crime that can put food on the table. You see what I'm going to do? It's very simple. And I don't mind. It's a devil workshop. You are here now working. I don't think if anything happens outside there and they will call you, it's not possible. So I'm going to remove, the first thing I'm going to do as a governor of this state, I'm going to remove the youth from the street. That's why I told you that what we need to do is what is called revolution, what is called to industry. There are no industry in the state. There are no jobs. The youth are jobless. If you look at it, they have first class degree, upper grade distinction. They are still roaming the streets. I cannot be a governor and the youth are still at strife. We're going to create industries in the state that will accommodate them and encourage them. In my time, you can never see any youth outside there. That's why I'm coming aboard. When you remove them from the street, you will not see those involving in kidnapping. When you remove them out of the street, you will not see armed robbery. This is what you're going to do. I'm not going to empower the security agencies to go and kill, because once you do this, you remove you from the street, natural security will come to Edo State. You can even buy a new car, park it outside, go and sleep. When you wake up, you see it. Put your money outside, go and sleep, go to bed. When you come back, you see it. Let me tell you something. Among the 14 governorship candidate contesting this election, Bishop Akalame and the Zen Labour Party happen to be the option, happen to be the best to take over the Salebe Avenue, to drive the economy and make Edo State an Eldorado, where you cannot come. You are very peaceful. Everything you want to do, you know, look at the bank here and say, all
right, your time is up.
What Edo people need me at this time.
Bishop Akalame, thank you so much. Your time is up. But we'll take a break. But when we come back, we'll allow all the other candidates to also weigh in on the issue of security, kidnapping, and youth in school who are involved in cultism. What are their plans to fix these problems? That's going to be next. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. The ZLP candidate, Bishop Akalame, was talking to us about security, kidnapping in Edo State. Let's get the other candidates to get their views on. You have 2 minutes, YPP candidate, to let us know how you hope to fix this challenge should you be elected as governor of Edo State.
Wow. I think that's a very simple thing. If given the opportunity, or if voted in as the governor of the state, I will immediately, within the first 30 days, set up the Edo State Security Management Agency. Now, this agency will be responsible for all the vigilante activities within the state put together under one platform. Now, they are expected to regulate the activities and check crimes and criminalities within the entire local government. We're also going to look at the issue of violence and thuggery too, which we will also ensure that it is within the ambit and control of the same Edo State Security Management Agency. We'll ensure that this security will be mandated to regulate the activities of violence, indecency within the state, indiscipline in all aspects of the state, and ensure that they return the state back to what it is supposed to do. Because for any investment to thrive in the state, the first thing that is that is needed is security. So if we must attract investment into our state, we must ensure that we create the necessary environment through the creation of the Edo State Security Management Agencies. This agency will also be responsible for the payment of what I spoke about, the vigilante group, because we intend to bring the vigilante groups, train them, and ensure that these people are managed by the Edo State Security Agencies. If we do that in good faith, they will receive salary, and the salaries that they receive, they will also check crime rates, because their responsibility will be to check crime, check violence, check thuggery. So if they are given their salaries at the end of the month, they also know that their duty will be to ensure that the state is peaceful. That's what we intend to do. Simple.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Your time is now. The NNPP candidate.
The security apparatus in Edo State has failed woefully. And NNPP will be overhauling the security apparatus. You will know that in Edo State, once it's 4 o'clock, all the security system is locked down. There is nobody except maybe at night where you see some of them checking vehicles and checking papers. What we are going to do differently, we are going to have a joint task force. Even the road safety, they don't work 24 hours. We are going to make sure that security apparatus, the joint task force, work 24 hours in Edo State to curb all of these menace we're talking about. And for those of our youths that are involved in different vices here and there, we're going to make sure that when they are apprehended, we are going to rehabilitate them. Some of them need the psychiatrist to talk to them. Maybe because of the issues of the state, stress here and there, no job. They got themselves involved in all of these vices in the state, making the state uncomfortable for the people in it. So we are going to take them to the psychiatrist to check them up. We are going to be counseling them. We are going to rehabilitate them back into the business. The security apparatus, even as they shut down, even we will not allow them to shut down. We are going to wire the state. How do we wire it? Surveillance. Edo State can do it. Nigeria can do it. We have all it takes to have surveillance in all of our states and in Nigeria. So we are going to bring in experts who will put their surveillance in every street, in every community to check all of these security issues. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. The APM candidate, kidnapping and young people in cultism.
The truth of the matter is, every time we talk about security, you know, the youth, the present government, they have failed the youth. When you say security, you must attend to the source of the security, the problem. What is the source of the problem? When a youth wakes up in the morning, he does not have anything to put on the table, and the parents cannot even afford what he needs, and he cannot even fend for himself. There's no job. You don't. Definitely, he must go haywire and do such things. So how do we comb this? As I've said before, in my government, this is where I will introduce the traditional rulers in the state. Edo State, we are lovers of culture, and we respect our elders. As a youth, I wouldn't want to go and pay the police force or pay involve vigilante and all that to come and comb insecurity in Edo State. By the time we engage this youth in every sector, that they can be able to produce good things, you know. So I think that insecurity will be a thing of the past. By the time every time we hear in the federal government they talk about community policing, this is where I involve the traditional rulers. When the traditional rulers comes in Edo State, in every community there's always a head. In every street in Edo State there's always what we call Ojonwe. Are you getting me now? So Ojonwe must know everybody. By the time you carry everybody along, you know, there's a town hall meeting that goes on every Saturday of the month, every Saturday. And that every Saturday, the commissioner for chieftaincy title will have to work aimlessly if I become the governor. He has to meet everybody, and the youth will come out and say their need. And we can be able to produce jobs for them. By the time we can be able to eradicate hunger, security will be a thing of the past. At the time, the youth, some of our youth engage in this Yahoo stuff they talk about. By the time you bring them out from that Yahoo train and you put them into this technical school that I've said I will build, I think they will produce more. You understand? And they will be a better youth in society.
Thank you so much. The ADP candidate, please, your time is now.
Thank you so much. I will fall back to insincerity of politicians. Now, why would there not be insecurity when our lights, our street lights have refused to function? I can remember that the past administration built some roads with street lights. Since that time till now, I can tell you that those lights are not functioning. Our road is now death trap for kidnappers, robbers, and for, you know what it is. There is no light in the state, no street light is working. And people have used this, darkness everywhere. And people are, some hooligans have used this as their hideout. Now, this is what we are going to do. We are going to, with the recent incursion of some people into Edo State land with farm, the farmers are afraid to go to farm. I don't want to call names here, but I can tell you that farmers are afraid to go to farm in Edo State. This, our security system is not properly facilitated. You can discover that the elites in the town use most of these police around to guide themselves and to protect themselves. But they are not protecting the common man, that good man in the farm. In fact, the security agencies are not facilitated to work, to function very well in the state. I can tell you, this is, in fact, they lack empathy.
What would you do to that?
Now, what I will do to this is to, when elected, we are going to facilitate, provide security system for the security agencies. We are going to the community policing. We are going to make sure their standards are properly trained. We are going to make sure that all these work to better Edo citizens and Edo indigenes. Now, this is what we are going to do again. We are going to make sure that the Edo streets is light up. I can tell you that there are some street lights, if you go there, they're just standing as figurehead. And these lights are not working at night. And if you go there, you'll be afraid for your life. So that's why our politicians in the state run to Abuja.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a follow-up on the issue relating to security. And of course, I would like to start. But this question will get you 1 minute to respond to it. Human trafficking is crime. Edo was once known as a home of traffickers. But the federal and state governments and even the traditional rulers have been talking about it. In particular, the palace of the Oba of Benin have taken steps to turn that around. What do you think should be done to the victims of this crime and perhaps the perpetrators, any trafficker that is caught? If you're elected governor, what would you do to such a person?
Thank you so much. Yes, it has been happening. But in line with our Transformation Agenda Manifesto, we have provided solution for this by building or by making sure that we have skills acquisition across the 18 local governments, where we will train Edo youth for free. Then after then, we give them stipends to continue what they have learned with proper supervision. Now with this, nobody, because they were going out of the state to source for greener pasture, and some of them were lied upon. Some people would just come and said, let me take you to go and work, let me take you to go and school, and when they get there, it's something else. And this is what we want to take, and we will make sure that, because our government is going to be a law, we're going to follow the law. So we are going to make sure that these people, the victim, they are rehabilitated. We are going to make sure that we give them...
thank you so much. Your 1 minute is over. Let me come to you, the APM candidate. What would you do to those who perpetrate human trafficking in Edo State?
What I would do, first of all, I would thank the royal father who came up and say a word to that long time ago. And I think with what he has said, it has actually reduced that particular crime in Edo State. And secondly, and there's what we call NAPTIC. If such thing happen, I think the agency has to be in charge of that, and we have to make sure that they deal with these people. And they are not far from us, because if I become the governor, I think I will know my citizen one-on-one. So if this happens again, and I think the NAPTIC will take responsibility of this. And again, what I'm saying is, if in all this, there's hunger in the land, that hunger still goes back to that unemployment. If we talk about insecurity, we talk about unemployment. You understand? So the girls that are doing this, in my government, I am going to involve 35% of women in my government. Because if we don't do this, I don't think how these girls are going to see the role model they are going to imitate. By the time they see these people in the government...
Thank you so much. Your 1 minute is over. The NNPP candidate, what would you do to human trafficking perpetrators? And, of course, the victims also. What are your plans for them? 1 minute.
Yes, the human trafficking perpetrators, if they are apprehended, we'll still take them to the psychiatric. We'll take them to the mental home to check if they are really what? All right. Because human trafficking is not business. From there, they will go through counseling, and maybe they need to go and serve some years in the prison. That is part of reforming them also. And for the girls that are involved in all of these vices, some of them were deceived. We're going to look at areas where they will be also rehabilitated. Those girls also, when we get them, they are still going to go to the psychiatrists. They are going to get counseling before we really rehabilitate them into the system. We're going to, a lot of them, if you go out there, they don't even have any vocation. When you ask them, I have met with some of them, they don't know how to thread hair, they don't know how to do anything.
The 1 minute is over. The candidate of the YPP, your time starts now. 1 minute.
I think there's already a law that that regulates that activity within our statutory provisions in the books. Now, if we get to government, it's just to give teeth for that law to bite. If you are caught as a human trafficker, you will be arrested, prosecuted, and sent to jail. Secondly, if you are a victim, you will also be arrested, counseled, rehabilitated, and given employment. That's just it.
Thank you. ZLP candidate, yes. What would you do to perpetrators of human trafficking and, of course, the victims?
In my time, we will not even have perpetrators because we are going to catch them young, from 0 to 14. We are going to change their orientation. We are going to work on their mindset that what you are going here, what we are going to look for outside this country, you can get it here. The problem we are really having is that the poverty in the land, the poverty in the land is the one driving our younger ones, our young ones, outside this country to go and look for greener pastures. So we are going to partner with so many agencies to discourage our young ones that what you are going to look for outside the country, you can get here. Because majority of them who are victims today, they were deceived. So we will not even give room to all this. We are going to make sure that if the economy is even working and the state is working and everything, poverty is out of this place and people are no longer in agony, I don't think anybody will be thinking of how to leave the country for trafficking to earn a living. That is the issue. So we will not even give them job. They will be out of job in my time. No perpetrators. They will not have that to do.
Thank you so much. Yes. Your time is over. Let's begin on the issues of health. And let me start with you. The hospitals across the world are overwhelmed by the COVID-19. If you were elected as governor, what would you do should hospitals or the cases of COVID-19 get worse?
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. I will start again by saying that Edo State only has one finance health system, which is called the specialist hospital. And I can tell you that that hospital there is in shambles and in total disarray. That if you go to that hospital there, they will ask you to come with something like kotiwu, spirit, of which these are what are supposed to be there. Now, this is what past politicians has put us into. Now, the state is not functioning properly. That is not where a traditional home is even far more facilitated than the state finance hospital. This is what we are going to do. We are going to make sure that, because you see, COVID-19 came unaware and they were running at a scatter because they did not proceed to the future. Now, the ADP and his governorship candidate, Comrade Boye-Lucky Emmanuel, we're going to make sure that we finance our health system, we build primary health system across the world.
Thank you so much. Your time is up. The APM candidate, please, your time is now.
In terms of health sector, I've said before, we can be able to access humanitarian funds to get this health sector in a first-class way in Edo State. What do I mean by that? I keep saying it. When I go into that's humanitarian funds, we can be able to raise it. although we are getting funds from federal government, but this one, this X sector, we're going to have, each local government is going to have a state-run hospital in each local government. We can be able to do this. We may not be able to do it at once, but it's going to be by section, because due to the finance issue that I'll be talking about, we can be able to get this, and we'll get these humanitarian funds, and we'll build this hospital. The funds is made for that. It is not meant for infrastructure, or to go and farm, or to go and do every other thing. It is meant for X sector, humanitarian funds. So if I'm able to access it, in fact, the whole 18 local government will have this hospital. And this issue of hospital, the people, this childbirth.
Thank you so much. Your time is over. Your intervention on issues of COVID-19. Should things get worse, if you're elected, what would you do to fix the problem, at least in the first 100 days? 1 minute for that.
Thank you very much. Things will never get worse because we have qualified doctors in Edo State. We're going to look inward. The best doctors in the world, if you take statistics, they are all from Nigeria, and some of them from Edo State. So how can things get worse? Things can never get worse because we have qualified hands to handle all of that. The NNPP government will be having free health care for children, for pregnant mothers. We'll also be having homes for the aged. We are going to make sure all of our healthcare centers are well equipped. We are going to make sure that the doctors and nurses are there. Not what we see today, when you go to so many communities, grass have taken over the health centers. No doctors, no nurses in all of those places. The new Nigerian People's Party will be proactive concerning our health sector. We know what to do. We have our team on ground working.
Thank you so much. Your time, please.
Concerning, I think your question is reference around COVID-19.
COVID-19, the health sector, and what you do, what you will do should things get worse.
All right. The current government has really done really great here as it concerns handling COVID-19 issues. We have one of the hospitals in the Edo South, we have one in Edo Central, and we have one in Edo North. What my government will do is to strengthen the administrative system and drug administration of those already existing hospitals. There is no perfect way to combat it now. Even in the international communities, they have not found a perfect way to combat COVID-19. But what our government will do as YPP is to strengthen the existing structures already available and ensure that if they were paying for drugs before, the drugs will no longer be paid for. It will not be free services. So that those who are already victims of COVID-19 will be able to come up fully.
Okay. It's your time now. There's the LLP candidate.
I believe that the issue of COVID-19 today in the state would have gone to the level it is today if we are proactive enough. That is where proactiveness comes into governance. As a proactive leader, what I would have done if I were a governor before, I want to shut the border of this state to ensure that we don't even have a victim. But now, since we now have victims, we now have patients of COVID-19, what I will do when I come on board is that I'm going to do shutdown again. I'm going to close the state for two weeks. When I close the state for 2 weeks, then I will not carry out tests from home to home. Then we extract those. For example, those who are patients of this COVID-19. Then we now take them to isolation center. When we do that, we will not know that already we have been able to curb the issue of COVID-19 in the state. Then when you close the border, if they have closed the border, those people who have those virus before would have come into the state. But that notwithstanding, we are going to ensure that we invest in our health sector to ensure that our people are better health-wise.
Thank you so much. We're rounding up gradually. And let me begin with you. This question carries a minute for you to answer it. And it has to do with the issue of violence. A lot of people have been talking about the possibility of violence in the Edo election. We've seen how you politicians have been talking about violence all around the state. And so the Oba of Benin also weighed in on this matter to say there must not be violence. I wanted to talk to the fact that in this election, what would you do to ensure that there is no violence? And what are your fears about the issue of violence? 1 minute, please.
Oh, Shehu, thank you so much. When the people have been made gullible and vulnerable, when the youth can be paid, when a youth can be paid 500 or 1,000 to come and cause violence, check it out. Now, this is what they have done to make the youth to cause violence in Edo State. And that's why they can be called and be paid for giving stipends to do this. Now, what my fear is that Edo is a peaceful state. The Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty, has called on all candidates, and we were there, and he prayed for peace and for violence-free election, and I believe that will come. My fear, if there should be violence, it will not take good to Edo State, because Edo State is a role model to the country, to other states. So definitely, I pray for peace, and it should be violence-free. But there are a lot of vultures that have used the youth as a carcass. And I will advise, my advice for the youth is that if there is no carcass, the vultures tend to fly away. Yeah, so they should not be allowed to be used by anybody.
Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, in terms of violence in this electoral election, I would like to use this opportunity to wake up the youth, to wake up to their responsibility, because these political gladiators have been using them for some ages right now. And I'm a youth too. That's the more reason why I must let them know. Come September 19, let them come outside and go and vote APM. And this gladiator, let us use our PVC to push them out. Instead of allowing this gladiator to use the youth for their own evil do. If they can come outside with their PVC, we can retire them, not only in Edo State, in Nigeria as a whole. Let the youth wake up to their responsibility. It is time for us to take responsibility, instead of allowing them to use us for violence. Because if you look at the top level, the president, the former administrative president, President Muhammadu Buhari, I was very little.
Thank you so much. Yeah, your time is up. It's your time now. NNPP candidate.
Edo State belongs to God. It does not belong to any one man. So my counsel here to the youth and to the Edo State people is that you should not allow yourself to be used to foment trouble in Edo State. Like I say in every of my platform, politicians will not die for you. Politicians defect. They move apart from one party to the other. So if you die because of any politician, or you die because of that stipend, you die for nothing. See yourself as a future governor. See yourself as future House of Rep member. Come out with your voter's card and let us overthrow all of the old politicians that are circling the position. It is time for the youth to be proactive and come out and take the bull by his horn. Come out, let us lead together, and to God be the glory.
Thank you so much. YPP candidate, your fears, you have any fear for issues of violence in this election and the intervention of the Oba of Benin on the issue of no guns, no more shooting?
All right. In 2006, I set up an NGO, Network on the Reduction of Violence in Nigeria. Now, if I come into government, the Edo State Security Management Agency that I will set up will have an arm that will manage violence. Violence can be curtailed. It's something that is not an everyday thing. It comes once in a while. It goes along with thuggery. So there will be an arm within the Edo State Security Management Agency that will entirely manage violence. It could be a retired general or a retired one-time ex-commissioner of police who understands the intricacies involved in violence. They will just handle that area, and Edo State will be decent.
The LLP candidate, your time is now.
My party, the Zen Labour Party, is a peaceful party. And we have been talking to our people, talking to our followers, talking to our members, that we should not go into violence. Because we believe that the only way to Osadebe Avenue is to market your manifesto, is to market your agenda, is to market your plan to the good people of Edo State. If they buy into your agenda, your manifesto, they go to the field and they prove that by voting for you. That is what we have been doing. And I believe that if every other party have been doing that, as they all here and others, talking to their members, their followers, and I believe that we are going to have a violence-free election. And I promise you, like what we are doing already, do their job, we're going to have a violence-free election. Election is not a do or die affair. what is important is that all of us are out there to deliver the dividend of democracy to the good people of Edo State. That is where we are going there. But the ability of every candidate here to market yourself to the people is what matters. That is the only sure way to the Osadebe Avenue. The youth, we are already talking to them.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And we're coming to the very final moments of the program. You have 30 seconds to again sell the people, sell your manifesto and sell yourself to the people of Edo. So you have 30 seconds for your closing moment. What gives you the confidence that you are the man and the right woman for the job come September 19th, 2020? You have 30 seconds for your closing moment.
Oh, thank you so much. What gives me the confidence is the Transformation Agenda Manifesto that I have been writing for the past 4 years, since 2016, that have come to cover the loopholes in Edo State. That we are going to, the STEM project, the PPI, we are going to eradicate erosion, we are going to make sure that we will make every civil servant in Edo State to become a landlord with our ASI scheme. Our ASI scheme will make all civil servants to become a landlord for 20 to 25 years.
Thank you. Your 30 seconds is over.
Yeah, I, Bineweka Osamede, if I emerge the governor of Edo State, in terms of insecurity, agriculture, finance, health sector, infrastructure, and education, we are going to improve in all this. Come September 19, I call on all my followers to go out there and vote for APM. And when I emerge the governor of Edo State, it's going to be a free hair. And the youth shall come back again.
Thank you. NNPP, your 30 seconds start.
Thank you very much. I believe I have the willpower to deliver on all of my agendas for Edo State, on healthcare, on education, on agriculture. I have the willpower to deliver. So vote the new Nigerian People's Party. Vote Honorable Agol Ebun Tracy, next governor of Edo State. God bless you.
YPP?
All right. My party believes in promoting paradigm shift in governance and generational shift. You know, throughout the world, we are working towards a generational shift from the old brigade to the new brigade. So the people that are viewing, they know that it is time for them to make the difference through the polls. Thank you.
These LLP candidates, you have the final word. 30 seconds.
It's a 24-century material. I am a creative young man with bubbly potentials. And I believe that in critical times like this, what Edo State needs now is Bishop Akalame and the Zele Labour Party. We are intelligent. From my national chairman, Chief Dan Wanyango, down to Bishop Akalame, we are intelligent and we are proactive and we are creative. If Edo State cannot have a better leader than now, that's why I'm coming. Let them go to the field, vote for Zele Labour Party, vote for Bishop Akalame, and vote for prosperity, economic prosperity.
Thank you so much. I must sincerely thank the 5 of you for coming tonight to sell yourself the manifesto of your party to the people of Edo State as we look ahead to the 19th September 2019 governorship election. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, for your time tonight, and I wish you the very best at the polls. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I would sincerely thank all of you that are watching tonight. Please, just a moment, just wait. I must thank all of you that are watching tonight. Please stay with us right here on Channels Television, and stay tuned to Channels Television, because on Sunday at 7 p.m. we will be back for yet another round of debate for those who are seeking the #1 office in Edo State. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Seun Okimale. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye-bye.